This thing is getting real crazy. Y'all remember a couple weeks ago when those 10 inmates escaped from prison down in New Orleans, and they caught a bunch of them, but it's still a couple of them still on the loose. Y'all remember this?
Meantime, in New Orleans, police say they've captured 3 more of the 10 men on Monday after that brazen jailbreak 11 days ago. Leo Tate and Jermaine Donald were arrested 400 miles away in Texas after a high-speed chase. Tate is seen on this surveillance video walking in an alley shortly after the jailbreak. 26-year-old Lenton Van Buren was picked up in Baton Rouge. 5 people have been arrested for helping him.
As much as we have to focus on getting the remaining fugitives back in custody, we also have to be focused on who allowed or helped them to get out.
Orleans Parish District Attorney Jason Williams says this escape could have been prevented after a few other inmates staged an unsuccessful jailbreak 2 weeks prior.
If the sheriff had rang the alarm about the vulnerabilities that existed during that attempted escape, then maybe resources could have been brought to bear from the state.
Security failures that are not just happening at this prison.
So this is the picture of the images of the 10 inmates that broke out of the prison and ran out. Now, we know that they locked up a lot of employees and people, about 12, that was allegedly supposed to be involved in these guys escaping from prison. But there was one guy, Antoine Massey, right? Antoine Massey and Derrick Groves are the only 2 that's still on the lam, right? They didn't catch these guys yet. We know that they caught some guys in Texas. They had guys on video. They was catching them all over the place. But Antoine Massey, he's a guy he has some real nasty charges, right? But we know that he's online and he's begging Donald Trump. He's begging Donald Trump to come save him, right? He's calling out to rappers, Meek Mills. Y'all remember Meek Mills when he had his legal troubles? He's calling out the NBA YoungBoy, everybody, right? So he went online and he did like an 8-9 minute video giving up his location and pleading his case for saying that he's innocent. These people are after me, and they railroaded me. New Orleans is racist. That's what he said in the court system. And he went online and he said this.
Massie, I'm one of the ones that was let out of GC. What I want to talk about today is as far as why I was in Orleans Parish Jail. I was in custody for almost 8 months. All right, 6 months, something like that. I was in there for theft of a motor vehicle and domestic involving strangulation. That's what I was in Orleans Parish for. Okay, but before I was in Orleans Parish, I was in a jail called St. Tammany Detention Center. All right, St. Tammany Jail here and St. Tammany Parish. There's 2 different parishes, Orleans and St. Tammany. Okay. Today, what I want to talk about is that I was on 2nd-degree kidnapping, 2nd-degree rape, domestic abuse matter involving strangulation, domestic abuse matter, violation of protective order, right? On this woman right here, her name is Diamond White. That's her name. This is a district attorney drop form right here. And she's not a child, she's an adult, a full adult. I was dating this woman. This is a legalized affidavit saying all allegations against me is false. You remember, all allegations against me is false. I was nowhere around her or none of that during the timing of the date, which was November the 10th of 2024. Okay, so I was in St. Tammany, right, and I was on a regular domestic charge, right, so they put a parole hold on me because I was on a domestic charge. So with that being said is that once that occurred, and the charges was refused or whatever, they shipped me to Orleans Parish where I had more open charges. It was the theft of a motor vehicle and the domestic abuse matter involving strangulation. So once I got in Orleans Parish Jail, all right, I have from the district attorney's office, this woman who they say that I initially raped in another parish and in Orleans Parish is the same woman here. It's not different females. It's the same grown woman, not a child, a grown woman. Okay, she did the same thing in Orleans Parish, right? Correct. I'm about to show you how the system is corrupted. Okay, she did this, right? Saying all allegations against me is false, and she even saying it. She let him know the truth that I never did this to her. I never hit her. I was nowhere around her. Nothing. She got mad and thought that I was dealing with another woman. That's why she did what she did to me. You know what I'm saying? Another thing too. Once I got into Orleans Parish, I was there for like a month or something like that. Okay, a lot went on as that time progressed. Okay, if you was an innocent person and you know the judges and DA know that this person is saying that all the charges that you're on that you did not do, why was you still in jail? Louisiana have the highest incarceration rate in the world for putting black people away. Yes, at the end of the day, in my younger life, I'm not gonna lie, I was causing problems. I was young. My daddy got killed when I was 7 years old. My mom had to raise 4 children by herself, so I had to find a way to try to help my mother. You feel what I'm saying? But as time went on, the person that I once was, I'm not that person today. That is not who I am. I have a 3-year-old son. I have an 18-year-old daughter that graduated yesterday, supposed to be. At the end of the day, that people don't understand that they see that I'm armed and dangerous. I have a heart. People that know me know that at the end of the day, I am a good person. So I'm asking for help from the world, from Meek Mills, Lil Wayne, Young Boy, Donald Trump. For these people, I couldn't even get a lawyer. I couldn't even afford a lawyer to prove my innocence while I was in Orleans Parish jail. They said that I broke out. I didn't break out. I was let out. My name is Antione Massey. The guy who said that I threatened him with a shank, the maintenance guy, how could I threaten you with a shank? If you can't come around me, you're a maintenance. You cannot come on the tills without a deputy being behind you. Because if they just let you on the till, you could be persuaded to bring drugs or anything like that in that nature. So how can I threaten you to jail you? And why you didn't notify the people, the police, that if I did threaten you, you never did that. Like, you flat out lied on me. Sterling flat out lied on me.
So this guy's basically saying that he's innocent. He was framed, right? This, they basically putting charges on him that didn't belong. But this woman had a protection order against him, right? She's alleging all kinds of stuff, right? So now when they look at this, it says a history of domestic violence. Massey's long criminal history dates back to at least 2009 and includes violent felony convictions of armed robbery, aggravated flight from an officer, and felon in possession of a firearm. He was also sentenced on charges of theft, simple criminal damage to property, and twice on tampering with electric monitoring equipment. Massey awaits trial in New Orleans for domestic abuse and theft of a motor vehicle, and he's wanted for a rape and and napping in St. Tammany Parish, officials said. Massey's latest arrest came after what police described as a harrowing fight in November 2024 with a girlfriend that left her eye bruised and bloody face, raspy voice, eyes swollen shut, and trouble swallowing. The same woman has since been arrested and accused of helping Massey after the jailbreak. She was booked into the Jefferson Parish Correctional Center Saturday on counts of principal to aggravated escape and obstruction of justice, according to jail records. The Times Picayune does not identify alleged victims of domestic violence. In 2024, the woman told officers the couple started arguing at a house in Sidell, where Massey went through her purse and found paperwork from a protection order violation report she previously filed against him, according to court documents. When Massey confronted her, he hurt her. He did some things to her and forced her into her car, driving her against her own will down dark roads in New Orleans East and other areas, telling her, "I'm about to blank you," according to court documents. When they spotted a police car near the McDonald's on Elson Fields, the woman told investigators she jumped out of the car and tried to flag down the officer. But Massey caught her and dragged her back to the car where he hurt her until she lost consciousness, right? Then it says, later that same morning, Massey brought the woman to his sister's house where after becoming enraged that he was being too loud, he ripped the braids from her head, leaving blood. Oh man, leaving blood all over the walls, according to court documents. She eventually escaped hours later and flagged down a passing car. Her own car was recovered abandoned in the 700 block of Martin Road. Days later, Massey was found in Texas with a Mercedes that was stolen from a party in New Orleans East, court documents say. So they're saying this guy is like a bad dude, man. Like he's a bad dude on the lam. You got to watch the babies, the women, everybody, because this guy is bound to do anything. This guy's bound to do anything. He's out of control, right? But he's saying that all of these things is lies. He was in a relationship with this woman. Why would I do all these things to this woman and this woman would come and try to help get me out of prison, help me escape? This is not true. He also came and he's also said this.
I want to let the media know that from the straight tattoos in my face and things of that nature, of course they're going to believe Sterling. You know what I'm saying? I never told Sterling nothing. I'm willing to take a lie detector test and everything behind that. But that's another subject. Orleans Parish is one of the corruptedest jails. That in St. Tammany Parish is the corruptedest jails in the state of Louisiana. Why was I even incarcerated with a woman saying that this never happened? This is this woman's name. This is the charge, domestic abuse relation. This is about the shit in St. Tammany. Why was I in Orleans Parish? Why was I even in jail? That's what I'm trying to show y'all. That's why I left the jail. And they have a lot more brothers that's innocent, just like me, that's trying to prove their innocence. That's why they ran. Jason Williams, the sheriff, Susan Hudson, these people are corrupted. These people was talking to St. Tammany and telling St. Tammany they gonna sentence me behind this. And telling St. Tammany if they can't get me, St. Tammany gonna get me.
So this is the dude that they saying to help break them out, right? This guy looks green, like he's never been in trouble a day in his life, right? But they're saying that this guy that was working in the prison was the one that would help get them out of prison, right? But he's also showing paperwork. He's also showing paperwork where he's saying that she's allegedly saying that this never existed. Now this is the thing. She's showing paperwork where it's saying that she said that those charges never existed, but for somehow he was still incarcerated. Then she's locked up for allegedly trying to help break him out. So where there's smoke, there's fire, right? This month's jailbreak marks a fifth for Massey, if you include his twice cutting off his ankle monitor, said Dennis. That's not the same. Massey's first escaped juvenile detention. Then, in 2019, he broke out of the Morehouse Parish Detention Center in Collinston, about 20 miles outside of Monroe, with another inmate. They ran through a hole in the fence and escaped in a rental car that pulled up nearby. Morris Parish Sheriff said Massey put on an ankle monitor that he violated before he reached Dennis' outfit, he said. So, man, listen, right? This guy has a history of playing a gingerbread man. Like, you can call him the gingerbread man because he's up out of there, right? But he's showing paperwork saying that he's innocent and these parishes are wicked. They're corrupt. And this stuff never happened. I like to know from this woman because it was a lot of bad things alleged that he did to this woman, right? I mean, he has essay assault. He has a whole bunch of stuff that he was allegedly supposed to do, right? And the way that he brought harm to this woman. But then he's showing paperwork what he's saying. Now, he could be lying. I don't know. But he's showing paperwork where it's saying that she's saying that it didn't happen, right? Now, people are going to look at that and say that he's known for being a gingerbread man. But just because he's known for being a gingerbread man don't mean he's lying. But it also don't mean that he's telling the truth. But the one guy, Derrick Groves, we ain't heard from him. Now, we know Derrick Groves because we know that his grandmother was unalived by a black police officer back in 1994 when this guy was corrupt. We all know that story, right? This guy, I think he's on death row or just commuted to life in prison, right? And these cops was corrupt and his mom was, speaking out against the corruption of police and she got eliminated. So we know the story of Derrick Groves. We ain't heard nothing from him. He's in the wind right now, right? But this guy, he does the video. He's giving up his location and they're probably going to catch up to him at some point, but he's known for running. So we'll see how this thing play out, man. Right now, 10 men ran and jumped out the prison. 8 of them has been found. 2 of them are still on the land. and we're going to see how this play out. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this. Subscribe to Street Media TV, and hit that like button. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.